started, sorry. We have a work session on the spring cleanup.
Okay. Everybody got a copy of the report, so this is kind of just regurgitating some of the information of the report. I try to keep it short and simple. So, go ahead. Yes. So, what we just starting out, we had about 147 non-compliance issues. We had
This year.
This year alone. And so, what I did is I tried kind of putting that into a perspective of something that I could measure. And so I can't tell you how many houses we actually served. So what we had was we had 323 trips to the landfill. We had 28 trips to the recycle center. So if you added all the non-compliance issues up, it comes out to be about 46% if you divide it by the trips to the landfill. So that's kind of given us a perspective of where we're lacking in either our direction or people's compliance or following rules and whatnot. So it kind of gives you a perspective of what the guys deal with on a daily basis. This is the 2016 zone. We had 5 zones this year. And so what we ended up doing was we were on track pretty much per schedule until we got to zone 5. The amount of material that we saw in zone 5 put us a week behind. We lost 1 day to weather, which was, I believe, May 9th, which was a Monday. And then, but other than that, what put us behind mainly was the hours of picking up the trash and the loads, the extra loads and stuff that we experienced in the field.
Remind me where zone 5 is?
Zone 5 was on Midland, so let's see if I can figure out how to go backwards here.
Steve Davis.
No, it was all Steve Davis.
Steve stuff.
Yeah.
He's not here.
So here's kind of a graphic representation of where we lost our time. So the red is the actual, whatever color that is, I assume it's green,
Yeah.
is it projected, and you can see we pretty much got behind in zone 5. So we revised the maps for 2017. What we did was combine zone 1 and 2 because they were pretty small. They took us about 2 or 3 days each. So we combined those, and then so with Drew's help, we came up with starting on, people can start putting their trash out on the weekend before, and then the zone pickup starts on a Monday. So what that does is it also allows the crews, if they finish up a little bit early, they can pick up other things such as potholing and cleaning out storm drainage and stuff like that, since we've been getting a lot of weather in the spring. And so here goes a comparison of the tables of the costs. You can see that for 2016, the cost rose a little bit. And so you can see that mainly it was in wages and time. So, I mean, an interesting thing that I found is that our landfill costs were actually lower. So I think we probably experienced a lot more brush and landscaping material and stuff of that nature this year. So here's a kind of a track from 2009 to 2016 of how the landfill costs have gone up over the years. And then here's some of the examples of excesses that we've experienced. Your packet has a lot more of these pictures. There's only a couple here for timing. This was a community pile that we experienced.
Dave, how often does that happen where you've got several people that are just piling all over? I know that happens in our area.
It does. I mean, it happens at, where we see it happens near apartment complexes, which we're not supposed to service, try not to service. It happens near mobile home parks. We actually had one mobile home park. We instructed them to put it by their mobile home, out from the mobile home. We come out and pick it up and actually put it all in a packet. And you see it in cul-de-sacs also. People in cul-de-sacs will stack it up in the middle of the cul-de-sac, and it becomes fairly large and substantial. How many we had, I did provide I don't have the spreadsheet that I put together is in the report, but it doesn't reference addresses. I didn't want to vilify anybody. So I kind of took the addresses out and stuff and just kind of said the areas that they were there.
You didn't want Steve Davis to feel bad.
The proposed ordinance in the future will require written approval for community piles because it makes sense to have community piles by apartment complexes or certain cul-de-sacs or things like that, but try to control it.
So this is basically moving forward. That's where
Well, it's harder for enforcement, too.
Yep.
Right, that's right.
Yep.
All right, so I was looking at your labor costs there. I mean, and you have it even up on the screen, it was there.
Yeah, we pull it back, I can pull it back now.
Contractor use, is that a way to reduce the cost of this thing?
Well, that's a way to reduce timing. I would consider contractor use more of an effect of if we're getting behind. You know, that was discussed previously when we discussed,
Sorry, could you repeat that?
if we got behind. They look at it like snow removal. So, you know, if we were getting behind or we running a week behind, there's a lot of more trash than we're used to. I mean, you know, it'd be just like hiring a contractor to have snow removal. So the contractor use would be is if we ran into a situation where we're getting way behind or something's come up, and then it'd be a way to get caught up.
Yep. One thing Terry Wilson wanted me to tell you is, rather than running straight to citations, to do some sort of warning door hanger, so that instead of handing somebody a ticket, you check the violation and give them 24 hours to correct it before you give them a summons. So that might be a soft way into enforcement.
I like that.
I like that.
And can't you, how do we deal with construction debris currently? Do we address that at all?
Usually don't take it, I mean,
But
you
I
know,
didn't see that.
It's hard to judge that because a lot of people do a remodel. And so, you know, they might have some information, some debris out there. You know, once it's put out on the street, it's hard to say, well, we're not taking that, unless it's considered hazardous material. So, you know, what you'll see is that you'll see some of the larger piles might have where they remodeled a room or a bathroom or something like that. So, but you know, I think we had one situation up on 10th or something like that where they remodeled the whole house and they'd taken everything and put it out on the curb.
Pitkin?
That was his house,
That
right?
wasn't mine.
Yeah. And we actually told them we weren't taking it, you know, we couldn't take that much amount of debris, and I think they eventually hauled it off themselves.
So let me revisit this citation idea.
Yeah,
That's a function of code enforcement
correct.
in the police department.
Yes,
So you now have two code enforcement officers.
yes. And, you know, part of the confusion is the schedule because, which is now eliminated in 2017. And to be truthful, we're also sensitive to religious observance. So you're either not working on a Saturday or a Sunday, depending on your faith. So you still can put your debris out one of those 2 days before the Monday that each zone begins. So every zone begins on a Monday. It's very easy. You just drive through everything that's not that zone, and if there's debris or stuff out there, you cite them. They got to pull it back, and if they don't pull it back, then they get a ticket. And I don't know, it's just a clean way of doing it. You're not lengthening the actual length of the program. It's just better organized.
You're lengthening the amount of time that there's gonna be stuff out in front of someone's.
No, you shouldn't be, because if you're enforcing it by zone, then, you know, you can only put it out the weekend before, you can't put it out after 8 a.m. You know, every zone should be cleared within a number of days.
Right.
And there shouldn't be anything in any of the other zones until the weekend before that zone starts.
Right, so the longest trash pile should be in any one location,
It's a
maximum
week.
would be 7 days, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
if
was-
I got it out on a
That was
Saturday,
my point.
yeah.
You know, you
That's right.
only see it for a month.
Yeah.
Should be out there 7 days ago.
But it shouldn't. But I think part of the responsibility is to communicate the program clearly.
Right.
And now you will have some teeth in it if you pass the ordinance tonight, and you communicate that clearly. You're not going to fix it in a year, but I bet you'll fix it in 3 years.
Yeah,
Let's talk about one other thing. If the code enforcement officer sees someone obviously adding to a homeowner's pile, that's an automatic ticket.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want to personally, my comment, I think right now we're set up to have a $500 fine on that for the first offense and $1,000 after that. I think that needs to be a lot higher than that. I think that if you get caught, you know, driving into town, dumping
Dumping
in
on our
front of
city
Leo's house, then,
Then,
you know, it's like, I think the first fine needs to be at least 1,000, maybe more than that, is my thought.
The
Because-
the issue is you don't have the authority on a daily basis to go over $1,000. So each day, what we would do is consider each day a continuing violation, so you could have up to $1,000 a day. The difficulty is that by both state statute and city charter, you are limited to $1,000 as your maximum fine.
I see.
So hence
So,
the,
so the $10 million fine to build the bridge. Dang.
given the number of consecutive days that it could be in violation, it would actually rack up a fair amount of money. I mean, it's $365,000 a year.
There you go.
So it's not 10 million, but, you know, we work at it.
Spring cleanup and bridge enterprise.
Yeah, exactly.
If you go above where you are now, the chances of you actually collecting a lot of that is certainly diminished.
And you're talking about finding non-residents.
Yes. Yeah, I think, what was the fine proposed for a resident violating something? I think it was started at
250, 250
And
to
then
1,000.
when- Did it go up to 500? I don't have that open right now.
But
Sorry.
like the person who dumped all the concrete in front of Leo's house, that would be $1,000 fine.
Yeah.
They go right
Yeah,
to the
so
max.
I'm thinking on now, we just say it's $1,000 a day then. So we don't start at 500, we start at 1,000, if that's our maximum.
And that has real teeth in it.
Yeah.
For a non-resident.
Yeah.
And for a resident,
For a resident, I think it's 250 if you, you know, if you violate any of the other terms. If you're out early, if you're out late, if you're, I got tires in there, I got a, you know, a refrigerator with Freon in it, I got, you know, whatever. That would be your 250, but that's where we put the warning sign on the door and say, you got a day to get this out of here because this isn't acceptable, kind of
Yeah.
thing. I didn't even know that we were supposed to cut limbs into 6-foot lengths.
What was in the information?
some of us live where we can't put it out in the middle of Midland, you know. And so I have been guilty of, you know, I take the stuff out of my garage, I put it in my pickup truck, I take it down to Leo's house and put it in his front yard.
I knew it was him.
Well, I mean, you know, it's typically somebody you know and you ask for, hey, is it okay if I throw my stuff in with your stuff? Because I can't, everybody lives on Midland, they don't necessarily have a place they can put
Yeah,
it.
if we put it on the street in Midland, we kind of have a bit of a problem there.
What if you put it across the street?
In the ditch over there.
If you go left, you end up at South.
See, and they don't want to be cleaning up on Midland either because it's like
It's all good.
backs up traffic forever
That's fine.
as well.
I think I'm one of the dump's best customers. I'm there all the time.
Nobody knows,
They love me out there.
nobody knows Fran better than I do. And her last day is July the 3rd.
Oh,
I
it is?
guess.
Yeah, you're out there.
Are we happy with the fee schedule?
Yeah, I mean, I love the schedule.
We're happy with continuing the program. I'm happy with continuing the program.
Yeah, I like the idea of starting every zone on a Monday, and that gives you the weekend before to get your stuff
That's
out.
it. Yeah.
Thanks to Dave.
I think that adds a lot of clarity.
Yeah.
I think it went 100 times better this year than last year.
Yeah, I do too. I think it was,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, it just seemed like it was much smoother than a year ago.
And you approve community piles for,
We will be in the
We
future.
don't, but it's hard not to, you know, if it's in a cul-de-sac and
Davis Drive.
it's there, how do you, yeah, I mean, you know, we've got to be reasonable in our.
Yeah.
It's true, we don't have a new ped bridge. I can put my trailer behind my bicycle and pedal my stuff over to your place.
I got I mean, just, not that we want to get into the trash hauling business, but there are people out there that, you know, this, I got a number of emails about this, you know, and everyone unanimously said, save the spring cleanup, and it's a major benefit. And I am thinking about people that don't have a situation where they can appropriately dump, I mean, put it out for spring cleanup. Do you want to consider any kind of a by appointment kind of a thing? It's like, you know, maybe it's even for a fee. Is that something that just wouldn't work for us?
You know, if you were gonna do something like that, I would say probably go with a contractor, pass the cost on. I mean, remember that we have 7 street crew members. So
Yeah.
if you start setting appointments for them to pick up trash, we're gonna be
Your job just changed.
pretty late on a lot of our other duties.
Okay. I was just,
So-
yeah, pondering that concept about,
You know, if you're thinking about something like that, you know, Carbondale has their day where they have dumpsters, you can bring stuff in and dump it off, or, you know, you want to look at a contractor where you pass that fee on to the people that are already ordering that service. I don't know, you know, there's probably a lot of different business models
you got other things to do. Yeah.
Would it be to your benefit if instead of me taking my stuff and dumping it at Leo's house, if you just gave me a postcard that gave me a free dump of a pickup load? Then you wouldn't have to pick it up and I wouldn't have to dump it at Leo's house.
Think about it.
On a request basis like that, we would certainly, verify one that you're a city resident and here's your coupon. And you go to South Canyon.
Because I'm always very sensitive about putting my garbage out on the street anyway. I'd much rather just haul it out and talk to Fran anyway. But you kind of force me into dumping it on the street.
You only got 30 days, Dr.
Just make sure those chipmunks don't carry you out, Steve.
Do what?
So make sure those chipmunks don't carry you out. Friends are pretty good though.
I think a little voucher system for somebody in that situation that's willing to do that. I don't know why we couldn't accommodate that.
Save you guys time.
It seems like a no-brainer.
I think that's an idea we're trying to implement somehow. Yeah, the comments that I received, were all about how it actually, in addition to just providing a convenience and a benefit for the residents, it actually contributes to the overall aesthetic of the town. Someone actually used Carbondale as the example, where they make everyone go to one central location, and so people don't use it, and there's a lot of kind of, garbage in people's yards and places, and we don't see that as much. It happens, but not as much.
Yeah, I have to say the town fairly sparkles right now.
Looks really good right now. Our town is beautiful right now.
I think a fair amount of people in the community don't think they get much for their tax dollars. This is one way to demonstrate they get something. It's tangible, they feel it, they use it, they like it. Don't mess with it.
We'll repeat this when the agenda item comes up, but you were asking about it now. $250 to $1,000 a day for first and subsequent offenses. If you're a non-resident doing that, it's $500 up to $1,000 a day for the same, for non-residents, right?
Okay.
And then it does put the burden on the city in terms of notice. 20 days before the program begins, it's on the website, and it's on the website continuously until the last day of the last zone, and you're publishing it in the paper no less than twice between 5 and 15 days before the program. So 2 times in the paper and constantly on the web. And
who's responsible for making sure those dates happen on the city's end?
well, I think it's going to be Dave Bentley.
Okay, just want to make sure we had somebody who was doing it.
I mean, he's not in charge of the program, yeah.
Okay.
And then approved items may be placed no earlier than 2 days before the assigned zone start date and no later than 7 a.m. of the zone start date. So that limits you to Saturday, Sunday, and the early morning hours of Monday. That's it. So it should work.
I think it'll work great. I'm 100% in favor.
And if we can get the newspaper to do an article or something on it too, as an educational piece, that would be even better.
Okay. You could contract me for that.
So are we done? We got a half an hour off?
Yeah.
That's it. Go play video games.
I was
Hop on the apps.